Welcome back. And just like me, the boys are back for their fifth and final season. And guys, if you think things were bleak before, episodes 1 and 2 handed us a masterclass in dread and top tier television. Now, I know some people online are saying that episode 2 kind of slowed things down to a dull status quo, but honestly, I really disagree. Personally, I enjoyed both episodes. I thought they were really good, and I didn't feel this slowdown in any type of motion. I'm not sure what that was towards, but I have seen a couple things online where people thought that episode 2 was slow. But I honestly feel like the tension that they're building is perfect. We're going to skip the chronological play by play today because treating these episodes like a simple sequence of events is kind of a disservice to all of it. I want to talk about those major themes and the character psychology and what I feel is pretty good quality in the final season launch. So let's go ahead and dive into the madness. Let's start with what I think is one of the absolute high points in episode 1. While tragic, I do think it was a high point, and that is A-Train's death. So I just feel like the writing of his character arc was brilliant. If you look at A-Train's character arc over the 5 seasons, and you look back in season 1 where he was this corporate coward basically, who ran through and killed Huey's girlfriend Robin then and didn't give it a second thought. But here in his final moments, it's no coincidence that he was met with the same situation, but this time he swerved to the side and crashed and burned, and it showed growth in his character. He quite literally sacrificed his momentum in this situation, and he also sacrificed his life to save Huey and stand up to Homelander. I'm sure we all knew once we saw Homelander finally catch up to him and A-Train started calling him a sniveling coward that we all knew what was going to come next. But I think A-Train challenging Homelander and asking him, what would you be without your powers, was very, very powerful in that moment. And as you'll see in episode 2, that those moments that A-Train spoke to Homelander come back to somewhat haunt him in a way. I think A-Train's words really touched Homelander down to his core, and we know that's pretty rotten, but it really touched him. And I think this was a powerful way for A-Train to go out because it truly gives him the superhero arc that his character always wanted. And he also got a bunch of emotional send-offs along the way. And to me, that proves that this final season isn't going to pull any punches. So now we have to talk about the terrifying world building in these episodes because Homelander has completely taken over everything, quite literally. Now, I will say that the show's political satire is as crisp as ever. From those freedom camps that are essentially dystopian internment camps, all complete with bought ads and terrible bottled food. Add that to the brilliant, maddening way that Sister Sage is dismissing the whole Flight 37 with an AI deepfake. It seems to me like the writers may be trying to hold up a mirror to the modern media landscape. But that being said, Antony Starr is delivering a Emmy-worthy performance as Homelander. Homelander has everything that he's wanted the entire time. Absolute control. He even has a puppet president, but yet he's just as paranoid as ever. Because while everybody loves him, I think what's truly bothering him is that while they love him, most people are still afraid of him. So do they really truly love him, or is it all just for show? I just think it's a brilliant character study in a god that at its core is a broken, needy little kid. Now let's talk about the thematic core of the premiere because it seems to me like everything rests heavily on how far heroes are willing to go. We have Butcher who has basically gone full scorched earth. His Supe-Virus tumor is starting to physically manifest, but more importantly, his morality is completely gone. Butcher has sank to the point where he's willing to kill his own abusive father, every suit, and potentially every single human if it all means he gets his revenge on Homelander. But honestly, that's just Butcher on a regular day. The most fascinating thing that's going on in this season is Starlight and how she seems to parallel Butcher in a way and honestly seems to be taking on some of his characteristics. I think she's suffering from the guilt of watching Starlighters get rounded up, and honestly it's making her a little bit more pragmatic and cold. She's willing to sacrifice Frenchie to get to the virus, and she even agrees that 10,000 suits dying to save 8 billion people is probably a worthy sacrifice. Seeing her pull away from Huey as well is kind of tragic, but watching her focus completely on a mission is going to make for a pretty compelling storyline. Now let's talk about those crazy reveals to me that made episode 2 good. First off, we knew that Kimiko could speak, but after 5 seasons of basically watching her say nothing, seeing her find her voice is actually pretty fun, even though it's extremely heavy on the cuss words, but it is an evolution for her character. And then we have Ashley's terrifying new mutation. She literally has a face on the back of her head that can read people's minds. And I don't think it's an accident that she got this power because it honestly kind of reflects her character's two-faced nature. And I think it acts more like a guilty conscience than anything else to her. And finally, the virus test in the teenage Kick's basement with Rock Hard. I honestly think this was dropped in here just to give us an excuse to bring back Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy.
Did you fuck me?
What?
Is this some kind of incest thing?
No.
Then what the fuck is this?
And the fact that Soldier Boy seemingly survived this lethal soup-killing virus at the end of episode 2, likely because he has the original V1 compound running through his veins. It kind of sets up a massive wild card for the rest of the season because I believe Homelander has his original V1 going through his veins, or I know he wants to obtain the original V1, that way he could become immortal. But will this help Homelander, or will this become his undoing because he did lie to Soldier Boy and Butcher told Soldier Boy the truth, and now this is going to make for a compelling story arc as well, because what is Soldier Boy going to do now that he knows the truth and he also knows that Homelander lied to him? So with that is my review of the first 2 episodes of season 5 of The Boys. I think the first 2 episodes of season 5 delivered heavily on the character tension, also that biting satire, and the looming sense of apocalyptic dread. I was pretty thrilled about how everything kicked off, but what did you guys think about the 2 episodes in the premiere? How do you all feel about A-Train's redemption arc and how that everything played out with him in the end? And what do you guys think Soldier Boy is going to do next now that he knows that Homelander basically sent him into a trap? Let me know your season 5 endgame theories down in the comments. We're making a hard push for 1,000 subs. So please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and keep coming back. And I will see you in the next one.